So if you haven't guessed, I'm at the little Renault launch event of the new Clio and new Zoe. The Clio's getting loads of love. There's oh no, there's no one around the Clio. No one cares about the Clio. Everyone's around the Zoe. This is the first time I've sat in it. Craig, obviously, from the Renault Zoe Owners Club, has done videos on the new Zoe, and he loved it. And I wish I didn't sit in it, and I wish I didn't come here today, because it's beautiful. It's just, it's as good as it looks in the pictures. This TFT Screen is beautiful. If you didn't know, this is actually the same company that produced the screen, produced the Tesla Model S screen, so it's exactly the same screen in there. I don't know about the middle screen, it's completely random, but this one is actually from the Tesla, same Tesla screen. That's why it's got this little beading around it, and it looks very sort of beautiful, sort of colourful, very bright TFT display. We've had a bit of a play with some of the gadgets. We think the key that we've got here today is a pre-production key, because there's no preheat on it, the preheat doesn't work on it, and there's no charge flap opening. So because it's a pre-production model, I think those parts of the switches aren't programmed. When the full production model comes, it will have the charge flap open and a preheat programmed into the key. Hello, Future Nick here, just to correct some of the mistakes that past Nick just made. First of all, there is going to be no preheat on the key whatsoever. The only way of preheating the car is going to be via the app, the new app. There's a brand new app coming, and also by the preset timer in the car on the R-Link system. There is no, listen, no preheat on the key. What I was saying there about it being a pre-production key, kind of partly wrong. So there is no preheat on the key. The other button is just purely to flash the lights like any other Renault Zoe. There is also no way to open the charge flap via the key. So you can't press a button on the remote to open the charge flap. It needs to be opened from inside the car. This is direct from Eric, who is the head of Renault ZE for France. So if he knows anyone, he knows better than anyone. Before we go back to past Nick, can I just ask you to go and click subscribe down below and give the video a thumbs up as well. Back to the other Nick. We've tried Android Auto, and when you load it up it says pre-production model not for sale, so a lot of the things not fully working in the car because this is a pre-production model, but you can see all the extras like heated seats, the side collision warning lights all flash, the heated steering wheel, we've got wireless charging as well. You've now got the R110 motor as standard, and you can also upgrade to an R135, which is the 135 brake horsepower version. It comes in 3 flavours: the Play, which is the basic spec, don't buy it; the Ionic, is it the Ionic or is it Iconic? Iconic. We're going with Iconic, and then we've got the GT line, which is the top spec. The GT line only comes in 135 brake horsepower. The Iconic comes in 110 or 135 brake horsepower. And only those 2 models can have CCS, which is why I tell you not to buy the Play model, because you can't add CCS on it and you need CCS. So the parallel parking system is quite good. You've got parallel sort of bay parking, you've got sort of side-on sort of parking spaces, you've got standard sort of Tesco spaces, and then you've got parallel parking. So you've got, in fact the other one is to get you out of a parking space. So you've actually got four different options of getting you out of spaces, 360-degree sensors, so sensors all the way around the car. So you've got front sensors now when you add the automatic parking. You've got heated steering wheel, lane departure assist, side collision warnings. The steering wheel feels, that whole build quality of the Zoe feels better. Even these lights that click on now, the switch is just very clunky, very nice, very firm. I'd say it's the biggest improvement I've ever seen from Renault on a car, ever. The other thing you can do is you can project the sat-nav map in the centre screen. You can also project Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in the centre screen, so it gives you, if you did get the Play model, which is the basic spec, which doesn't have the sat-nav, you can project your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay into the screen and have a sat-nav. So if you were renting one of these from a car club in London that doesn't have the sat-nav option, you can still have sat-nav if you've got your mobile phone with you, which really opens up some possibilities. And this screen, like I said, is beautiful. The GT line now comes with this hot stamp grilly, which is this diamond impression on the grille, which is absolutely beautiful. Renault also accidentally put a start engine button inside the interior of the Zoe. The other thing it does now is instead of pressing the self-entry button, you walk near the car and the car will self-open, very similar to the way that Tesla does at the moment. The other major change is this new interior. So this is known as recycled yarn using old recycled plastic and seat belts, which is why it looks a bit like sort of like a faded seat belt sort of design, and then on the outside like a fake flawless leather, so not real leather. This new recycled yarn in the middle is actually really nice, really high quality stuff. So thank you very much for watching this week's video. If you can give it a thumbs up, don't forget to click subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye. And someone's turned the heated seats on because I feel like I've wet myself. Oh, it's hot.